they say about me tonight? So hot that snowbirds visit him for the winter. I'll take that. Very, very true. I'm very hot. All right, all right, all right. Happy Thursday, everyone. What a glorious evening we have in store, because it's time for...
Gutfeld Industrial Hygiene Corporation, in conjunction with Self-Assembling Elves, presents How to Be a Journalist, with your host, Brad Pitt.
So let's start with a story you aren't hearing much about, because it involves a group the media loves, Black Lives Matter. One of their activists, Quintez Brown, was charged in an attempted assassination of Jewish Democrat mayoral candidate Craig Greenberg in Louisville, Kentucky. I know, you're thinking the same thing I did when I first read it. Jewish people live in Kentucky? The suspect, just like CNN and MSNBC, was an advocate for socialist and communist ideals and often criticized gun-loving Republicans as a columnist for a Louisville paper. Yes, he's a member of the press. Well, it was either that or become a college professor. Here is the pro-gun control shooter on Joy Reid's show. Roll the tape.
Honestly, now it's very hard to feel safe at school, but where I come from, I feel less safe in my community. And so, I love how the emphasis is, it's like, this isn't a school safety issue, this is a school safety issue, this is a gun violence issue, because gun violence does not affect schools, but communities, churches, clubs, everywhere. Yep. So at school, and it's very hard to feel safe now because it's like a war zone. What humans need, we need common sense gun reform. Get rid of assault rifles.
So yeah, he's for gun control. Just yours, not his. It makes it easier to shoot politicians without getting shot. So you think some journalists would wonder if far-left rhetoric and demonization of whites or Jews led to this violence? Someone maybe like Joy Reid?
In America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too, and it has the same effect.
Oh, it's scary. Now, I'm not going to say, it's just the music bothers me. It's like, it makes it into like a horror movie kind of thing. I'm not going to say that Reid's racist words incited violence against whites, but I'm not going to not say it. Surely it doesn't help when you constantly target one race for abuse. So how did the Las Vegas Sun report this attempted murder? They blamed the right, claiming that violent language from right-wing politicians like Donald Trump was enough motivation for the shooting. Quote, "We've all heard this with our own ears." We have? Trump drawing cheers at rallies by suggesting violence against his opponents, GOP lawmakers, and candidates trying to whip their followers into a frenzy with talk of taking up arms against so-called forms of tyranny like mask mandates. Well, I got to say, for a publication called The Sun, the people who write for it aren't that bright. Yeah, you're welcome. And they claim that we've heard all of this with our own ears. Not us, buddy. All we hear is millions of people right now laughing at you for your idiocy. But at least The Sun didn't blame it on the shooter's car. Meanwhile, where's the shooter? Well, he's not in jail. The Louisville Community Bail Fund posted the $100,000 bond for him. Yeah, the party of red flag laws bailed out a deranged man who just tried to shoot a politician. It's kind of like if Sirhan failed, they're giving him another shot. And don't you dare blame Kamala. The person she bailed out is accused of murder in Minnesota. Which brings up another question. Why don't we know whose money bailed him out? Why aren't enterprising journalists using hacked data to find out who's responsible for freeing an attempted murderer? Well, maybe because they're hacks themselves. But look at what the press did to the truckers in Canada. Places like the Washington Post took names and numbers from a hacked list of donations and started calling people who gave as little as $40 to the convoy. Like Geraldo's hot tub, it's as gross as it is unsurprising. And I just love that picture. And the only shooting that these so-called terrorists in Canada have done is at the goal during street hockey. The only thing they threaten is the timeliness of our Amazon packages. No wonder everyone hates the press, including their own parents. They couldn't look into the president's son's business dealings, which they lied about being hacked. But if a coffee shop owner donates to peaceful civil disobedience, they sick the outrage mob on them. Then the government takes away their bank accounts. The doxing has caused more damage than the protests. In short, journalists who despise the blue-collar class painted a target on people who supported a nonviolent protest simply because they saw them as uneducated rubes. Uneducated rubes, mind you, who you and your country rely on to make it run every day, you slime. This is class warfare with an overeducated, self-absorbed class taking out their aggressions on everyone they deem beneath them. Well, everyone but an attempted murderer of a Jewish mayoral candidate. That crime doesn't fit the narrative, so let it slide. But these are weird times. So weird that I find myself agreeing for once with Ilhan Omar, who defended those who were doxxed and later harassed by reporters after donating to the Freedom Convoy. Be careful, Ilhan, your patriotism is starting to show. After the Washington Post began hunting down the doxxed people, Omar said this, quote, I failed to see why any journalist felt the need to report on a shop owner making such an insignificant donation rather than to just get them harassed. It's unconscionable, and journalists need to do better. Well, amen, sister, as her husband/brother would say. It's not often I find myself in staunch agreement with a radical communist, but that's what the journalist class does to you. It unites all of us against them. It's gotten so bad, I'm going bowling with the squad this Saturday night. Let us welcome tonight's guest. She's got the longest resume and the shortest name. Fox Business correspondent Susan Lee. He'll lead men into battle and then take them clubbing. Afterwards, host of Rob Smith is Problematic, Rob Smith. Ooh, you got a big yay there. She's like a dartboard, sharp and pointy, and hanging around at bars. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. And we'll always see eye to eye as long as I'm on a fire escape. My massive sidekick and the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrus. Susan, always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the business element of this. This is really creepy that, like, you can, like, there's people that give $40 to like some donation to something they see on TV, and all of a sudden reporters are calling them.
Right.
That's really
being doxxed
gross.
in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say the good thing about the trucker protest is that in Canada, you know, we play street hockey, and so at least with all the truckers on the street, that means no cars come through, so you have continuous games of street hockey in Canada.
That is the silver lining.
That is
isn't
the
it?
silver lining
Yes,
in all of this. But just to get back to the BLM, that shooting in Louisville, I was just looking. So I did some research on the
good for
shooting
you.
victim. You know, I mean, Craig Greenberg. I prefer to talk about the victim and give him more coverage than, say, the actual perpetrator. But have you looked at his platform for mayor of Louisville? It's very democratic.
Yes, he's very left-wing.
So he wants to lower tuition, green spending, racial justice, and he still gets shot.
Yeah. Now he got shot at.
Okay.
See,
that's
this
true.
is the difference
That
between
is
murder.
True. He ducked quickly. I think that was he was lucky.
Yeah, the difference between attempted murder and murder is that the suspect has to be bad at it.
Right.
That is what blows my mind. It's like, just so you get a lower sentence because you're an incompetent killer. That's what I'm saying. It's like an assassin gets a second chance if he's bad.
But it also looks bad when BLM puts up $100,000 for bail, don't you think? I mean, wouldn't that money be spent better on other things, per se?
Like on me, for example. Anything would be better.
Racial justice, how about that?
Yes, well, me too.
Okay.
Hashtag.
And
Rob?
you fish.
Well, look, it seems that and I'm really glad that the shooter was such a bad shot, but I mean, he was doing all this stuff about gun control. He obviously wasn't taking shooting classes, right?
That's true.
Because he's obviously a bad shot. But what I love about being a Democrat, it really does mean that you never have to say you're sorry or own up to anything.
Yes.
And if something does happen, then it's a Republican's fault, right? It reminds me of that meme where it's like leftist shoots Democrat, and then they look at the camera and they're like, why did you do this, Donald Trump?
Yes.
So it's kind of like one of those things. It's just there's no responsibility anywhere.
Yeah, they actually had, I think what happened was, wrote the editorial before anything happened, and it fit their assumptions. So and then all of a sudden they go, oh wow, and then they actually changed their editorial.
Yeah.
and pretended, hoping, and they go like, "Wow, they said at the bottom, it's been updated." No, you actually changed the entire focus because you were found out by some people that actually read it.
But that's how fake news works, because if somebody was reading this op-ed and they didn't know the facts of the case, they would think that it was some crazy right-winger that went crazy, right?
But how do you think the shooter would feel reading that op-ed?
Oh, very upset.
He'd be really pissed.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the culmination of his life's work of hating Republicans.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole editorial said he did it for Donald Trump.
Yeah, no.
Because he loves Trump so much.
It's like they're cultural appropriation. They're like, it's like, how dare you blame it on right-wingers? That's my gig.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they call Larry Elder a white supremacist. It's like the white supremacists are like, no. The whole point is we don't let blacks into our group. How dare you? How dare you, Tyrus?
On their moniker. I mean, they're pretty open.
It's
not like it's a big
You're clear
secret.
about that.
At the meeting, there's always a confusion where I'm sitting there going, me? Yeah. Oh, what I wait in line for?
Yes, exactly. What do you make of this whole story?
You know, Greg, your monologues are always on point, but I have to disagree with you.
He always does this. First he butters me up.
I've learned through wading through the waters of Fox News that a compliment before an insult goes a long way, because especially with your little ego, if I butter you up, you get caught up in your Greg, like, yes, it's true, I am brilliant, and I can throw the insult in, and it won't get edited out. So
you have to be on the payroll to talk to Greg like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You just give him a compliment first. You do the compliment sandwich. Compliment,
yeah, that's the
criticism,
blue
and then
book
another
for Gutfeld.
compliment.
Yeah, you can pretty much get anything out of him if you
something
warm
that
him
people
up.
talk about when I'm not around.
No, just us.
Yeah.
We do.
Again, we talk about every
On our
week on the podcast. But I digress.
You had a problem with my monologue.
Because you give them too much credit. It wasn't a mistake. They didn't jump the gun.
No.
The whole point of it is about no accountability.
Right.
The young brother who they gave talking points to, and even when he gave that speech, he was speaking, he kept repeating himself, because they take young minds like that, and he's responsible for his actions, but they feed him the hate, and they convince him the hate. I've been there. When I was coming up, it was all the Malcolm X stuff until you actually researched what the issues were. And he hears that, but they never bothered to think about his character. Everybody praised him because he said what he was told to say.
Yeah.
But you build these young minds full of hate, and then when they unleash, you're not going to take responsibility. You're not going to say, hey, we didn't see the signs. They say, yeah, it's their fault. It's not our fault. It's the system. And it's about, they just don't believe in accountability, and it fits the narrative.
And I bet, Tyrus, when you were coming up and you were getting all of that stuff, like, it probably made you extra mad, because light-skinned guys are always the angriest.
Yes.
Like, y'all are always just like...
We're like, they did this to Malcolm X and this, that, and then one day was reading was like, wait, we killed him?
Wait a minute, what?
No, where's the Clint?
And then also, I just
Oh.
want to make one more point, and this is a little bit serious. Like, a lot of people really don't talk about, there is this strain of hardcore anti-Semitism among the black far left that comes out over and over and over again. And this is, I think, an example of that. Like, I think that the fact that this politician was Jewish is not something that was not relevant, right?
You see that in the relationship to how the hard left looks at Israel and the PLO. It kind of comes out of there a lot.
Look at what happened to Karen Johnson. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg a couple weeks ago, right? So, like, it all comes out.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.